Hi everyone, welcome to the Heart's Frontier. I'm Kate. Looking a little bit different, obviously, than my normal setup because I'm still with my folks in Guelph through the Christmas holidays, well, through the New Year and everything. So, yeah, you'll have to excuse the fact that I need to wear my blue light glasses, so you're going to see glare. And it's late, and I am on a couch, so it's very different than my normal setup with the cards and everything. I will be doing another card reading likely later this week. Hopefully doing a pick card. That's what I'm hoping comes through. But for now, I have a really exciting video. I wanted to share with you some different healing tools that I've intuitively, received as the messengers that we're going to be having coming in for this year, 2021. So 2020, there's a lot that could be said about 2020 and how that's gone for all of us. And, I'm sure we also have very, varied experiences because a lot of folks that I have spoken to who are spiritually connected have also had tons and tons of blessings this year and have felt kind of weird about claiming those blessings because of the circumstances and because a lot of people were under a lot of distress. So I am feeling like 2020 is going to be a good year to claim those blessings that arrived for you this year. A lot of them arrived really at the end of this year for a lot of people. So in that claiming, it feels like it's because it's so new and so big for a lot of us that it's feeling hard to just accept and say, this is mine, I'm here. And, there's no two ways about that anymore. That's really what it feels like for 2021. So my word that I chose as a focus word, as sort of an intention word for 2020 was alignment. And my word, the word alignment, I really didn't understand or comprehend actively how much it was going to come into play, how much it was going to affect everything I did and everything that came out of this year. I feel like I learned the lesson of alignment so many times and in so many huge ways. It was almost like there was no avoiding it. So if you have not chosen a word or an intention for yourself right now in this current place and time that you're at whenever you're watching this video, or for the new year, in time for that, then I do encourage you to do so. Mine that I keep coming back to is power. So I'm really excited by that. I don't know if I've ever had the word power as an intention word. So really interested to see what comes out of this year of 2021. So I thought I would give you the backstory as to how I came up with these or how I received these healing tools, because it kind of requires a little bit of explanation, and here's why. I was asked to partake in a friendly holiday basket, and one thing that I can give because, sending items was a little bit more challenging, me having moved away to a small beach town, not really around those friends. One way that I could give to it was by writing an intuitively written letter, a letter of healing messages and of wisdom to come, and then to write, personal, individual healing messages. And this is one thing that I really love to do that I don't really actually have incorporated into this business yet is doing intuitively written letters. It's a really beautiful practice. It's something I very much enjoy, I think likely because of the introverted side of me and the writer romantic side of me just loves receiving letters, whether they're online or, handwritten. So yeah, if that's something that interests you or you want to learn more about that, feel free to reach out to me. I'd just be happy to talk to you about intuitive writing and things like that. But in the doing of this letter, I received some elements of Earth. And I also received some information about what 2021 might feel like. So I thought I might sum it up or read this letter to you to share it with the collective because it didn't feel fair just to share it with, the friends that was shared with. So I hope you enjoy. So it says, well, it goes without saying that 2020 has delivered us a fair share of changes and upheavals. Collectively, there was an unearthing of our foundations, healing past life wounds, and hitting a reset. Many of us learned how to better reparent ourselves, acting as our own parental figures and reflecting upon the lives that we've lived thus far. We've also deepened our understanding of those closest to us and begun to refine our lifestyle however we saw fit. This is something I saw with a lot of people this year. Oh my goodness. It was like everywhere I turned, people were doing inner child healing, really delving into not judging their parents, but really understanding the roots of where they came from and how that's affected how they've been living their lives. Part of that definitely is my age and the great amount of peers that I'm around. But it's really wild how I do have a lot of different connections from all different walks of life and all ages. And I'm quite lucky to say that I do have that. And I found the similar concepts were still popping up, right? A lot of it was these past life things, this reset button was very, 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 very felt by, the entire collective. And if you have not gotten your full reset yet, please know it's on the way, because I do feel that that's happening for all of us at sort of varied times in order to have the right supports around us. Because if everyone went through it all at the right time or all at the same time, it would be very hard for us to hold space and support each other. So the universe works in really interesting ways to throw one of us off so that other people can, hold on to that person. And then I wrote, I get knocked down, but I get up again. It was a song that was just in my mind, and I couldn't keep writing the letter unless I said that, which is kind of embarrassing because I don't even know the rest of that song. But nothing's going to keep us down. I totally believe that. Okay, so some things I feel that are coming in for 2021 for the collective. Rain-like cleansing of our minds. So really this feeling of washing away worries of the past, things that used to matter to us, really feeling as though they've shifted. And in a watery way, it would be softer. So sort of not even being aware of how that got let go, but just suddenly it's gone. That thing that used to bother you or thing that used to stand in your way. Soulmate connections and romantic partners deepening their bonds or reuniting. I'm seeing a lot of people who had loves of the past reuniting in this year. And so, I'm excited for you if that's what's on the horizon for you. I'm also seeing a lot of people come into connection, some people already. So this is something that did start early on, partway through 2020, as far as what I've been tuned into with the collective that's around me. But also a lot of people are really meeting people now or deepening those bonds, like securing those bonds with different changes to their 3D reality, like moving in, having some more value-based conversations than in the past, things like that. So psychic and intuitive development leading the way for our goals to become clearer. This is something I actually see that collectively a lot of people are going to be focusing on this year, which is great news for me because it's something I am so excited about and so passionate about. But also, I really feel it's because when our roots are destabilized in society, we stop being able to plan so much. We stop being able to set up this plan and just follow step by step and kind of be mindless in that. And so we're forced to, or invited to, depending on how you see it, we're forced to come to a place where we have to trust our intuition in the moment, because you could have been given an opportunity, say, a year and a half ago, that now if you were given that opportunity, it looks totally different as to whether you can say yes or how you would say yes, et cetera, et cetera. And so I do believe that more people are going to be called to, I think more people are actually receiving more signs and wisdom and starting to become aware of their own psychic skill and those parts of your mind. I believe everyone who wants to will have access to this. Everyone who is, listening to me right now going, yeah, that sounds cool, but probably not me. Yes, you. Yes, you can also create this space in your mind. Something that I'm very passionate about, actually, because it is often seen as a gift, and it's really just a skill that we're out of practice in using. And I think that if a lot of people were more connected to and were able to connect to their own intuition and, psychic awareness, psychic skills, then we would actually be able to live more aligned as a society, because that has a ripple effect on others. The closer that I've followed my intuition, the more it's inspired or affected other people to positively change their life. And it continues to amaze me. The last thing here is lots of challenging personal values and integrity. So it's not surprising to me that I had to clear my throat there, because challenging your personal values and integrity, your sense of integrity, requires a lot of communication within yourself. So you need to be honest truly to yourself first if you're going to get to challenging yourself, because you have to be willing to see the ick and the answers for how you have not been living in alignment with yourself. So an example of this could be something like you don't like when other people gossip or talk badly about other people, but you find yourself gossiping more than you would like. And so maybe it's you find yourself saying white lies, right? It's something that maybe you really, really care about, honesty, and then you're not being honest. So really thinking about what your personal values are. And I will say they are different for different people. I've had multiple conversations in my life about how, I don't share a same value being as high to other people. And that doesn't, make it doesn't make a problem. But if you believe that your values are the best values, then you might be building expectations on how other people react or how they behave with you, and that likely will not serve you well. So really focusing on what it is you specifically care about. I will mention now, if you are wanting to align your life, feel more connected, do an exercise for understanding your personal values, figure out how you're aligning to them, et cetera, et cetera. If this is all stuff that you feel you need, I do offer an Align Your Life, pathway to the Executive Energetics program. So you'd work with me weekly, and it's a very, very powerful system. It's really surprising to me what results people are getting out of aligning their life. And I'd be happy to help you with that. Okay, moving on. So it says, I see too some foggy times coming in and out. So I do feel there's, with this kind of light energy of getting to clear away things of the past, getting to welcome in greater love, and then also with developing that psychic or spiritual or intuitive awareness. With that, we're also going to have more times of feeling very disconnected to reality. So like a feeling of detachedness. So for this, my recommendation is to return to your heart for guidance. And I know that sounds simple, or maybe it sounds challenging depending on how you see that. But this is really truly where your inner compass is from. It's where you act the best from. We may find the simplest of tasks to be of great comfort, bringing us more joy than they did in the past. So this is really something like it's shifting our perspective to the things that used to feel very taxing and the things that used to feel mundane are now going to have a little more magic to them. But at the same time, some of the things that really used to give us energy and used to feel like they propelled us forward are now going to feel harder to do. We might feel a little more detached from them. So don't fear the void, don't fear the vague or the foggy or the haze. You'll find your way through it and it will be clear. And if you can find a way to enjoy the mystery, that I think would be of benefit, at least to your mind. You can tell your mind, this is just a mystery. We're just waiting to solve it, or we're waiting for, the mist to clear. I always think that's a very useful tool. I've had many times in life. Obviously, if I do this work, there's never a smooth path. You always have to go through things so you can talk about them, right? And a lot of the times I've had these detached moments. If I can picture this fog or this haziness as an actual thing, it feels as though it's more temporary and therefore more likely to pass, which helps with that devastation or hopelessness that will drift in as you're in that kind of phase. And also, when you can visualize it as a fog or a mist or something, you feel more connected to nature, and it actually helps you feel more connected to you and your true essence. Now, you may still have a hard time with timing and with being present in your decision making or in your day-to-day, but there's also a lot of tools that we can help you with that. It's something I have a lot of experience with, and so I'm very interested in the fact that this is coming through for this year, that we are going to have a lot of collective sort of foggy, distant feeling times. Actually, it feels like a little bit more than we did in 2020. So hopefully, hopefully that's not a scary idea to you. But I think it's important to let you know that you're going to be okay through that fogginess and through those detached moments. You are safe. You are entirely safe when you are getting that detached feeling. And if you're ever not safe, then you know you need to do something about that. So please reach out for support in whichever way feels best and easiest to you at that time. Okay, so also we will be daydreaming more and see that our daydreams are actually becoming real more quickly. So I do feel there's going to be a quicker turnaround time with daydreams passing day thoughts rather than the heavy focus on night dreaming that we've had in previous years. This really feels like daydreaming, day visions, like you'll just have a passing thought or something and then see that that happens, becomes more real. So it's very exciting. It's very enriching experiences that we're getting and really getting to the core of things. But anytime we get to the core of things, it sort of destabilizes our foundation. So just be okay with any time you feel unsettled. And if you wish to return back to this video to hear about the different things that are coming down and also the different healing tools, which I will mention soon, then hopefully you remember to do so. You can save this video maybe to remind yourself to do that. Okay, for 2021, there are also some natural elements that have arrived to guide us. So this is the good stuff. It is here that I would like to extend thanks to my guides and teachers, both in this ordinary realm and in the non-ordinary, because for me, receiving these healing tools is very special. So I'm honored to introduce the 2021 Earth Element lineup below. That's just a name that I gave it, but it felt like a lineup. Like it was like they all presented themselves to me going, we're the thing. So these are different crystals, plants, flower essence is in there. And there are things that are going to give you a glimpse of what the themes of this year are going to be, but there are also things that can help you with what you're going to go through this year. So I invite any of the ones that seem interesting to you that you try to look into them a little bit for yourself. The first one is Amethyst, and I'll read what I wrote about it here just so that you get the full message. So Amethyst is a crystal. It's a purple crystal, powerfully purifying in a humble way. Helps with releasing addictions of all kinds. So that could be eating, that could be intimacy, that could be gambling, that can be obviously drinking, drugs. Bringing in dreams and visions of the future, Amethyst helps with both going to sleep and waking up to your truth, which really fits for this year, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. A bit of an all-around healing type of crystal, but it is anything but generic. So you've probably heard of amethyst because it is a pretty common crystal. But until you start working with it, I don't think you really understand how much there is to it. That was my experience anyway. It's like, oh, this is so nice. It's so nice. And then the more you work with it, you go, oh, this is more than nice. This is a lot. So find strength in the chaos with amethyst and see that you feel more clear with it around. And amethyst is good for clearing the third eye, that purple energy, right? And helping you vision, see into the future, helps you with that daydreaming, with developing your intuition, things like that. So it was no surprise to me when amethyst was the first one to jump and come forward. Then we have yarrow. Yarrow is a plant. I love using the essential oil. I've also used the flower essence before. And yeah, there's a lot of different ways you can use yarrow, quite honestly. I believe you can drink it as a tea as well. I'm not positive because I haven't had it personally. But yeah, let me know if you've ever used yarrow in any other application. So yarrow helps with wounds on every level. The botanical name is Achillea millefolium. So think Achilles and aiding the wounded healer, as well as thousand leaves. That's me. So M-I-L-L-E is thousand. And folium, so the foliage, right? Millefolium. Okay. As well as thousand leaves, making it able to thrive in hot and pressured environments. Yarrow softens things emotionally and assists us in creating boundaries to maintain said softness. Soft is strong. So this feels like a shift that collectively we've been making for quite a long time. I don't feel like by the end of 2021, there's going to be such a massive shift that it's obvious that soft is strong, but I do believe more of that feminine understanding is coming in to balance the, quite masculine and I would say toxic masculine ways that society has been traveling the last while. The last long while. Am I right? I'm right. All right, next we have orange calcite. So I've got amethyst, yarrow, and now orange calcite. Energizing, cleansing, and the word unlock comes to mind. With it, we feel we belong and we can express ourselves both creatively and sexually. Orange calcite allows us the opportunity to release traumas held in our bodies and restore ourselves to fullness. While fairly gentle, this crystal also has a fiery power-up vibe to it. So I have a feeling I'm going to be reaching for orange calcite a lot myself this year, and likely because it's got that power-up kind of vibe. So anytime I'm feeling disconnected with that intention of mine, I feel that's going to be a good one to go to. And yeah, I like it. It's sort of a simple crystal in my mind, and the power that it has to be able to allow us to release those traumas, like those things sitting in our sacral chakras, is quite interesting and quite, I think, could be part of the reasons that we get a little bit disconnected this year. Because when you bring up traumas or things that, stayed in our memories from time ago and were sort of safely kept there, when they get brought back up, that can be a reason that our mind chooses to leave. And something else that I would like to share, which I will go into much further detail with throughout this time of doing this YouTube channel, is that when your mind leaves, it's not necessarily a bad thing. And when you come back, it's important that you remind yourself you are safe. Because it's the fear of when you come back being like, was I gone? That's the thing that really is causing a lot of stress and damage. Okay, next is lavender. So the gift of lavender is sweet and approachable. On a physical level, lavender is helpful for relieving itches and skin irritations, inflammation, insomnia, and anxieties. Lavender is called in to lift our fatigue and stiffness. Associated with the energy of the throat, it will help us to communicate more effectively. Now, lavender is connected to multiple chakras, but I personally chose the throat for this one, or that's what I was told to put down, because I feel it's specifically helping us with that this year. I feel this especially for the masculine energy within all of us, is that lavender is something that helps us soften so that we can get our voice out, something that we can use to communicate more effectively, because that is what will drive the action that we need to have a more positive benefit towards the earth. Now, this last one, this is why I wanted to give you all the preamble of how I wrote this, because it was intuitively done. And something about claircognizance is that you, or I, anyways, I'll speak from my experience. Sometimes I will know something or know about something and I've never looked it up and I'm not really sure why I know about it, but the word pops into mind and I then look it up and it's right. So an example of this happening recently was being, asked about a certain herb and then being able to define the ways that it worked or the ways that it might affect the body, then looking it up and going, oh my gosh, that all makes so much sense based on the science, like the chemistry behind it and what its benefits and uses actually are. Now, you can believe that that's informed intuition or that I have some sort of crazy memory, like a photographic memory or something like that. I'm pretty sure I don't. I got a weird mind, but I don't know if I have that. And so this one was really fascinating. So I received this information. I keep saying chose, but I really didn't actively sit there thinking it out. So I feel like I have to clarify. This one is a flower essence. It says Mariposa Lily. The Mariposa Lily was not a flower essence that I had worked with. It's not something that I had looked up or knew about. But when I read it after I chose it, after it was chosen, this is what I came up with. So it says, described as that often unrequited need of the innocent child's heart for unconditional love and warmth, which seems entirely fitting. So I'm going to read that again. It's associated with this often unrequited need of the innocent child's heart for unconditional love and warmth. A maternal, nurturing, and encouraging essence, Mariposa Lily invites the feminine qualities within us to be healed. Mata Amritanandamayi, Mother of Immortal Bliss, is the alternative name, and it helps us give care to others even under harsh circumstances. So by no means do I think everything is going to clear up in 2021 that, showed up here in 2020. I do believe we're rising above it in a different way. I'm really excited to support everyone with their soul growth this year. I do feel there's going to be like somehow even more of it than you got this year, which I know might just sound exhausting, but I promise you're going to be given the energy that you need to get through what you need to get through this year. I really do feel that. Any of this information that resonated with you, please take that as a sign that that healing element or that message is meant to find you at this time and potentially be used throughout this year. So thank you very much. I really just wanted to come in and share that. And it was something I was very excited to share because I knew how special writing that letter was to me and that these healing elements would come in handy later on in the year. So again, if you can save this and go back to it whenever you're wanting to reflect, that's awesome. If you want to let me know any healing tools that you've been drawn to recently or that you're wanting to incorporate in 2021, I would love to know that. And as well, if you want to comment on any goals that you're making, any intentions, I think this would be a good spot for it. And I'd be happy. I always respond at this point. I'm not overwhelmed with messages, so I don't have to worry about that. So if you want to let me know what you are chewing on, what you're working on this year, I would love to know and love to support you in any way that sees fit. So thank you very much. So excited for this 2021. I really, really do feel you're going to get a lot more comeuppance this year. So if you want to book a reading with me, the links are always down below. If you watched until this time, please make sure you're liked and subscribed so that we can keep meeting each other on this YouTube space. That would be awesome. So until next year, maybe. I don't know when I'm going to hop on next. Maybe till next year. See you soon. Take care.